you up for what am I? Why did you take a picture of the last longer?
That's my name, don't wear it out.
You don't want to get mixed up with a guy like me. I'm a loner, Daddy. A rebel.
I love that story. I don't make monkeys, I just train them.
I meant to do that.
I know you are, but what am I? Why did you take a picture of the last longer? I pity the poor fool. Don't eat my cereal.
Alright, I'm going to show how to basically get into the voice box and remove it so that you can get ready to replace it with my new 3D printed box with new electronic voice clips. So to start off with, a lot of these are already broken open, but there's basically just a couple small threads that holds that. There's no real buttons, they're just for looks. The arms slide in and out. There's a rod that goes all the way through the body that helps it stand, and if you need to slide that in, you can to remove the jacket. So we're going to start with that. Get that going. The key is to not tear your jacket if you can keep from it. So, and then obviously when you get to the other side, you do the same thing.
That's my name,
You don't want to get mixed up with a guy
Pulling
like
the string.
me. I'm a loner, Daddy.
A rebel.
Rebel.
Alright, so that's out. Now you're going to leave for now. Just go ahead and leave the
I love that story.
pull string through the jacket. So one thing that does help along the way, if you have any of these laying around, anything should work, but I kind of like something quick just to clip that off so you can get the jacket over here out of your way. So the next thing you're going to need to do, obviously when you replace this, I'm leaving the back open. Originally this was sewn shut and this was sewn up here, but you don't necessarily need to do that because the jacket covers most of it anyway. So these are the smallest ones I've got on me right now. I'm going to go ahead. This is just the zip tie. There it goes. That actually holds the upper shirt and collar area to the neck of the doll. So as you can see, these rods, these are bendable, so you don't have to worry about. That's what actually makes him flex his arms around and things like that. So what I do is I kind of pull the hands down, and that will pull the rods out of the plastic arms. So later you'll have to maneuver around until you find the actual hole where they slip back on. But for now, we're just wanting to get that voice box out of there. So I've already replaced this one with one of my new voice boxes. So I'm going to go ahead and take that out of there. Oh, it's always harder on the video for some reason to get this taken care of. But this is just a quick tutorial. This is not meant to show you.
I know you are, but what am I?
It's not meant to show you every detail. Some of this is going to be if you're kind of a DIY type person and you can kind of do a little bit of stuff yourself. You know, if you don't think you can attempt this, then you may want to find somebody in your area that deals with dolls or toys or something like that. So basically what you've got with the Wee Herman doll is you have this plastic frame. The head sets on it, it swivels on there, and then you have these rods that attach to that frame. Those rods attaching to this is what makes all this possible. If these aren't attached to this anymore, the head and the framework just comes straight off. So I'm not going to remove that much of it, but I am going to show you a couple things that I've noticed on the Wee Herman dolls. So It's hard to tell because I've got some zip ties on here, but there's these little bitty plastic clips. These are supposed to hold the little rods underneath there, and they do break. If they break, I recommend putting a small white zip tie in there. Honestly, even if they don't break, it's a good idea because this plastic gets brittle over time. So I put a zip tie here, a zip tie here, and I'm actually zip tying that rod to this framework. I also went ahead and put a zip tie at the bottom to hold it together because the little clip that goes in there that the screws go into are notorious for breaking also. So that's a couple things. You're going to need some zip ties. You can go to the Dollar Tree. I actually prefer white, but I knew I was going to take this back apart tonight, so I just threw one in there just so it would get together for some testing and stuff. So basically what we've got, we've got a tangle is what we've got here. Let me see if I can get it untangled. All right. So what we've got here is a new electronic voice box that I've made. 3D printed the housing. It's rechargeable, so it does have an on and off switch inside. The back slides off and you can actually turn it on or off, and there's a volume in there also. You can turn it up, but
Why didn't you take a picture of the lights?
it's pretty loud right now, and it's just a little bit over halfway. So when you put this in here, you're going to line up this top pin to this hole right here. That's really all I'm doing. Originally the voice boxes were screwed in there, but I see no reason to do that because once you get the shirt on it and the stuffing, it holds it in place and that little pin stays in that hole, so it's not really going anywhere. You could zip tie it in, but like I said, it's not going to go anywhere. So what this does, if you take this Pee-wee voice box and you plug this into your computer, you can actually delete the files off of here that you don't want. So if there's some of the sayings that you're not crazy about, you can delete those. If you wanted to, and you're savvy with a computer, you could go through and find sayings that you like in the movie and different things like that, and you can actually add them from your computer. MP3 file, you just basically drag and drop, just like you would if you were using an MP3 player or anything like that. So that being said, you know, that's pretty much how you get in there to the voice box. If the original box was in here, there would be 2 screws holding the box. This screw at the bottom actually holds the rods, so if it's still intact, just leave that one alone. The 2 screws that go here, like I said, you don't necessarily need them for my voice box. So when you receive one of these, okay, when you receive one of these, let me put this on here so it's not continuing to talk all the time. All right. So basically, once you get the box down in there, you just slip it down between these 2 rods. You just want to make sure you line up that little pin with that hole, and once that snaps in there, it's pretty much not going anywhere. Then you stuff your foam around, you pull this back up tight, you get the collar up here. You're going to put a zip tie through the collar and run it around, and you're going to tighten it in that groove. Once you do that, all this will be tight. You just put your little white stuffing back in there. You make sure your arms are back on the rods and fish them through the jacket. Once you get the jacket on, you may want to put a couple stitches just in the front to hold it closed, but you'll be pretty much ready to go, and it'll be ready to talk. Anyway, thanks for watching. Good luck, guys.